Dear students, welcome back, and in this video we'll be discussing another type of audiovisual aid. We have discussed different kinds of display boards. So what's up next? From this picture you can understand that what we are going to discuss. It's nothing but graphic aids. Okay, so what is graphic aids? It's a combination of graphic and pictorial material designed for the orderly and logical visualizing of relationships between key facts and ideas. If you want to show any relationship or a clear visualization of pictures, then we can use graphic aids as a audiovisual aids. So the examples like comparisons, if you want to show developments or progress, or any flow charts if you want to show, we will use graphic aids. Process, classification or organization, it's best to use a graphic aid. So what are the different types of graphic aids? So the graphic aids again classified into diagrams, maps, graphs and charts. So usually we all know from the term graphic aids, we'll be thinking that it's only graph. No, in audiovisual aids, the graphic aids includes diagrams, maps, graphs and charts. So we'll move on to one by one. So what is diagram? It is a simplified drawing designed to show interrelationship by means of lines and symbols. So if you draw something with lines and symbols and you show some relationship, we say it as drawings or diagrams, like geometrical drawings, science figures, cartoons and comic strips. So we'll see what is the standards of a good diagram. So if you are going to draw a good diagram, or if you are going to show them a diagram as an audiovisual aid, you should remember these standards or principles behind it. So first one is, technically it should be a correct one. So don't draw a wrong diagram and show the students. Neatly drawn, should be in proper proportions. Try to put at least some kind of uniform proportions. Try to give at least approximate proportions to the diagram. Well labeled one. So you have, whenever you show a diagram to the students, you should label it properly and you should explain it along with the diagram. Seen from all angles. So whenever you show, you just make sure that it is seen from all angles in the classroom. So you should remember all these standards if you are using a diagram in your classroom. So it's nothing but cartoon. So it is an interpretive picture usually drawn, intended to convey a message or point of view about things, events or situation. May make free use of exaggeration and symbolism. So if you, what is cartoon is, it's a picture which is usually drawn to convey a message but can be exaggerated and symbolism. For example, if I am showing this cartoon, so it indicates that I am going to tell you about a nurse with a IV fluid or a IV fluid administration or something related to that. Okay. So what is the purpose of cartoon in nursing or in education? It is a humorous picture which gives a subtle message. If I show a cartoon in the classroom, as like I did now, of course everybody will be interested to see or hear what I am going to say, and you have to make that picture as a humorous one which gives a subtle message. Of course it gives a message, but a humorous picture. It makes learning more interesting and effective as it creates a strong appeal to emotions. So of course all cartoon movies, even though we are old now, look into that. For example, Tom and Jerry, and even sometimes if we feel like sitting and watching some famous cartoons like Mr. Bean, so which makes the things more interesting. So same like that, you can include cartoons in our teaching. The teacher should use the symbols which can understand easily. So whenever you use symbols, like nowadays this emojis are very famous, so we can use emojis, but make sure that it is easily understandable. Give time for students to think, interpret the meaning of it. So whenever you show your cartoon, just wait for the classroom to think over it and then start asking question or start the discussion. So You can use it in psychology fundamentals, especially in nursing. We can use this for foundation, nursing foundation, because you can use, visualize the wrong and right things through cartoon images. So this is a cartoon picture which easily makes the student understand about peritonitis. So there are lot of, almost everything related to peritonitis is it's in one picture. Okay, like causes, nursing care, signs and symptoms, and the patient, what are all the lines and the insertion, other IV, all those things are here, so you can understand easily, and risk factors also given. So almost everything is here, so that the student can easily understand the complete discussion of peritonitis. So this is another cartoon picture which shows about insulin and its types. So what is the onset and peaks of each type of insulin? It is given here, like Lantus, NPH, rapid acting. So all these things you can easily make the students understand with the help of the cartoon picture. So this is another prioritization and delegation chart where you can show it like a cartoon images. So these kind of cartoons will be helpful in the teaching as well. So what is the advantage? Cartoon can be effectively used to initiate certain lesson. So any lesson, if you want to start, if you start with a cartoon picture, that will immediately bring the students to the brim of the chair, so that they will be so enthusiastic to listen to the whole class. It helps to motivate and to start a discussion. So if you want to start the discussion, you can show a cartoon clip and you can ask them to think over it and answer. Okay, it makes the classroom lively and more interesting. So of course I encourage the teachers, the junior teachers, to encourage use cartoon in their classroom. The next one is comic strips. So what is comic strips? It's a graphical representation of pictures in series. We call it as comic strips. It's the cartoon in a set of series. We call it as a comic strips. It is full of action. So there are some examples. So if you represent a comic pic with a complete interaction, the students will understand what he is thinking and what the other person is thinking, how they are communicating. So if you want to teach them communication and all, the cartoon or comic strips are very, very engaging. So the best nurse in the world, here you can say, congratulations, you have given birth to a healthy baby girl. But actually the nurse has communicated wrongly, because that's a man. Okay, and the nurse is fired out. So it is a cartoon representation or comic strip which has a complete event. Here it shows what wrong identification of the person. The next one is maps. So we discuss diagrams. Diagrams include pictures, comics, and comic strips and cartoons. The next is maps. So maps we never use in nursing, but of course we have seen people using in the history and geography. Graphic representation of Earth's surface or portions of it are termed as maps. These are flat representatives of the Earth's surface which convey the informations by means of lines, symbols, words, and colors. So there are different types of maps here, like geographical map, historical maps, distribution maps, which shows population and economic, political maps, and physical maps, weather maps, road, railway, air, and sea route maps. I'm sure that you would have seen these things in your schools, but in nursing we don't use this much. The next is chart, which is a very simple and cheap method. We can create an audiovisual aids with the help of the charts. A chart is a useful way to present and display information or instructions, especially in a classroom or other educational situations. So you can use it in the classroom as well as in community setting, or if you're going to a village, or if you're going to a home where you need to give a health education, or if you go to a hospital, if you're giving a health education to a patient, we use these charts. So it can range in size from a large wall chart to a single piece of chart. So it differs in size. So according to Edgar Dale, a chart is a visual symbol summarizing or comparing or contrasting or performing other helpful services in explaining subject matter. So when you explain a subject matter, if something is useful for comparison or contrasting the comparing the information or summarizing the information, we call it as a chart. What is the purpose? It shows the relationship, means of facts and figures. It show continuity in process. That's why most of the time flow charts, we say it as flow chart because it shows the continuity. For presenting the material symbolically, for showing development of structures. How you prepare a chart? The materials you need, of course you need chart papers. You can use white or light colored papers whenever you use a chart. Fiber tipped round point or chisel point color markers. You can use point or round pointed color markers. Drawing aids, adhesive tips. So before making a chart, you should remember or you should plan what you're going to write inside the chart and what is your objective, how you are going to lay out the content inside the chart. Okay, so the layout should be balanced and should use the space effectively. So you are not supposed to put too many contents in one chart, or you are not supposed to use a very big chart and with two lines. So you have to balance the layout and the content as well. So what is the principle? The size of the chart, the size of the letters, and the contrast of the display material should be such that it is readable by the farthest viewer. So you have to keep the size of the chart according to the classroom size and the number of students. You have to write the letters as big as enough so that the last person in the class also should see the chart. Okay, and the contrast of the display material should be light and dark so that the light chart with a dark colored pen, always it will be visible. Standard chart paper in size is 90 to 60 centimeter and 70 to 55 centimeter, which is suitable for most purpose. So the size of the letter of the caption, it should be 2 to 3 mm. So remember, because this you will be using very frequently in your classroom teaching, so you should remember how to write a chart. The caption should be of 2 and 3 mm size. The thickness of the line should be 2 to 3 mm also. So the headings always should be big. Okay, light colored chart paper should be used. Example, yellow, light green, white, with the dark colored pens like black, blue, red. Orange also, it is sometimes very difficult to read, so better use black, blue, red, orange or dark greens. Simple hand-drawn charts with non-decorative lettering are more effective than elaborately drawn. So don't go for like a poster decoration. Don't do too much of decorations. Make it very simple, clear with the letters. One chart should convey just one idea or one single item. Okay, so you should remember that whenever you display a chart, it should explain about one item, not multiple items. Charts crowded with information are less effective. So if you make too much of information, the chart will be less effective. How you preserve a chart? Preservation of charts is very important. You can see, like, once the chart is used, if you are going to reuse it, you have to properly cover it with a brown paper or an old newspaper and store it properly. There are different types of charts like narrative chart, tabulation chart, chain chart, bar chart, pie chart, flow chart, evolution chart, pull chart, line chart, and tree charts. Of course, there are different types of charts. We will see it one by one. There is strip tease chart, overlay chart, cause and effect charts, and flip charts. So this is the flip chart. Like, there will be few charts which is hanged together, and you will flip one by one and you will start explaining one by one. So flip charts are useful in teaching situation where you need to teach number of people at a time, and they used they are used when books are unavailable. So when there is no books and you want to show them a bigger size of the book kind of thing, so in that cases you can overlay the charts one on top of the other and you can flip the pages. The flip chart is collection of large pages which are bound together at the top. The pages are flipped or brought up and to the back as they are used. The flip chart is bound together and you can flip it easily. This is tabulation chart. So you all have seen, maybe like if you show any content as a tabulation, we call it as a tabulation chart. The bar chart, it is same like bar graph. Narration chart, this you can see sometimes in the invitations behind the invitation cards. I know that nowadays invitation cards are not coming, only save the dates WhatsApp status are coming. Yes, so the narration chart, it will show or give a clear narration about a route or about a transition. Okay, so this is called narration chart. If they are going to show you the way for something, it gives a clear thing. This is a line chart which explains about the relationships of two things, x and y axis. Pie chart. Flow chart, this is the one which commonly we use in our nursing, because to explain the pathophysiology or sometimes to explain the disease conditions, we may use this flow charts. Evolution chart, mostly used in pediatric cases. It will show how the baby is grown or how the milestones are happening. Tree chart, you can creatively make these kind of tree charts, like you can pin it or you can use it for your teaching purpose. And there are of course different types of chart, like the striptease chart, which we say that there will be a content, and when you open it, pull it, there will be a content inside. So that is called striptease chart. How to use the charts effectively? Students should be involved in the preparation. Chart should be so large that every detail depicted should be visible to every pupil in the class. Make sure that whatever chart you are showing, it should be visible to everyone in the classroom. Teachers should make sure that there is provision for hanging the chart at a vantage point. So you have to make sure in the classroom there is a place to hang the chart. A chart should give neat appearance. So don't roll it or crush it and bring it to the classroom. The teacher should have pointer to point out specific factors in the chart. This is very, very important point. You should remember, whenever you are explaining the chart, you should have pointer with you. Straight pins, staples, pre-board clips, paper clips may also can be used to pin the charts. Chart should be carefully stored and preserved for future use. So graphs, actually we are not using graphs in nursing, but as a type of audiovisual aid, we should know what it is. Flat pictures, which employs dots, lines or pictures to visualize numerical or statistical data, we use graphs. So to visualize the numerical or statistical analysis, we use graphs. Graphs are by nature a summarizing device. So generally the graphs are of summarizing device and an effective comparison contrasting tool. There are graphs, as you have studied statistics in the last year, you should know what are the different types of graph, like pie, bar, line and pictorial graphs. This is a pie graph, circle diagram with sections, and bar graph. Horizontally or vertically you can show the bars. Line graphs, which you can show the trends and relationships. Pictorial graphs, you can show with the pictures or illustrations. Okay, hope you understood different types of charts, different types of graphic aids. We will see you in next class with another type of video. Thank you.